From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, son.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger. Quick reminder, you got to get those rodeo tickets if you haven't done so already. They're sold out Friday and Saturday. You've got Wednesday, Thursday to get those tickets. Go to readingrodeo.com or you can call the box office at 530-241-8559. Here is your photo of the day. I want to thank everyone for sending in their photos. We've got more, which of course I'll share throughout the week. We got Ryan who sent in this beautiful picture of Mount Shasta, some of those clouds, wispy clouds, kind of off in the distance there, making for a beautiful shot. Want to share your photos? It's very easy to do that. All you got to do is go to the free Weather NorCal app like Ryan did to share this photo, and you can share that photo very easily, and you just might see it right here on the morning update and even on Coffee with Krueger. So send in those photos, whatever you got. We love them. Take a look at the rainfall totals. Now, I'm looking at the last 2 days because we did see well over an inch in Crescent City, close to that out towards Trinidad about 0.87 and Eureka about 0.78. Look at the valley. You know, I think the forecast models did a pretty darn good job in giving us an idea what we saw in the valley. Anywhere from a few hundredths down to the south to upwards of a quarter to even a half an inch out towards the Redding area. And you can see even out towards Shingletown, 7,700. Look at Bernie. About 3/4 of an inch of rainfall, 3/10 in Alturas, a little bit more than that in Susanville. So very nice totals across the area. There were thunderstorms, there was hail, there was lightning, the works for some of you, but not everybody. Now, there still could be a chance for some isolated showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms today. We'll take a closer look at that a little bit later. Gradual warming trend and dry for the rest of this week, but by the weekend, well, that could be a bit of a different story. We're tracking the potential for more rain on Saturday, including, I hate to say it, including the valley. And I say I hate to say it because rain is always a welcome sight. But when there's a big event like, I don't know, a rodeo, like the Redding Rodeo, you don't usually want to get rained on. And that may be the case here. But we also, with that warming trend, by the way, not going to be that warm. I mean, mid-80s, yeah, but not the 90s. All right, so let's take a look at your Krueger's Quickcast for today. Just for those of you that are in a hurry, you want to know what to expect today. Well, we've got you covered here. Real quickly here, take a look at out the door this morning. It's a dry start to the day. Still some clouds along the coast and even some of the higher elevations, but we are dry to start off the day and fairly cool too. Now, the cooler air is still in place. You see a bit of a spin in the atmosphere. That's the area of low pressure that brought us all the activity that we did see yesterday. But now what's happening is, as this moves to the east, we're on the back side of that low pressure. So now the storms are coming from north and working their way southward. So let's show you that here on Futurecast. So you can see this morning, yeah, a little bit of activity down to the south, but we've got our eyes to the north. You see how by midday we're seeing thunderstorms and showers popping up in Modoc County, maybe even around Paradise, seeing some activity here as well. Now, as we go through the afternoon, there may be a pop-up sprinkler or light shower for parts of Siskiyou County, but really for the most part, it is dry to the west of the eastern mountains, including the valley. Although you see a few showers popping up here, and could we see a stray thunderstorm pop up in southwestern portions of Tehama and even Glenn County? Not out of the question, but west, that's still looking at dry conditions as well. Taking about 6 o'clock in the afternoon, now we're really favoring extreme eastern portions of Modoc and Lassen counties, and then really things start to kind of quiet down and we're drier by the time we get until late tonight and for your Wednesday. By the way, just want to give you a quick heads up that it's still going to be a bit on the breezy side, a bit of a north wind coming in later this afternoon. We're talking about 10, 15, maybe 20 miles per hour. So just more of a nuisance wind than anything else, maybe a little bit stronger off to the north and east, and even the coast seeing about 20, 25 miles per hour. So for today, yeah, not bad. Look at these temperatures. Mid-70s, you can't beat that. That's below normal for this time of the year. I've got the lightning strikes mainly off to the east. We could see a stray sprinkler light shower in Siskiyou County, but otherwise dry, and then dry for Trinity County westward into the inland areas and even for the coast. So temperatures for the coast reaching somewhere in the upper 50s. So for the valley, it's dry through the rest of the week. but there it is. For the Reading Rodeo, unfortunately, we may see a chance for showers, and we also can't rule out a stray thunderstorm. So this is something, it's still a few days out. We got to watch it. Forecast models are getting a lot more consistent in that potential for rain on Saturday. So we'll take a closer look at that here in a bit. But for the coast, also maybe a chance for showers here on Saturday, as well as inland and for Trinity County. There's that chance for, mostly the chances for thunderstorms today will be in Modoc County, eastern mountains. Now we're dry through Friday, and then more showers, possible thunderstorms going into Saturday, drying out and warming back up once again for early next week. All right, that's a look at Krueger's Quickcast. Hope you have yourself a great day, but stick around if you want to go into that deeper dive forecast. We're really going to dive into even that potential for rain on Saturday. But do want to remind you that there's a free Weather NorCal app. Just go to your app store, search for Weather NorCal, put a space between the two words there, and download the app for free. Check it out. Explore. I think you'll really find it to be quite a useful and hyper-local app. It's all about Northern California, folks. All right, so again, we've got this area of low pressure spinning. You see the spin in the atmosphere. So we're on the back side of that spin. So the moisture, the flow is coming in from the north. And so that's where you're going to see the clouds moving in that direction. And that's where you're going to see the showers and thunderstorms kind of moving in that direction as well. The Storm Prediction Center has kind of really pushed this all off to the east here. But I do think these areas here and even into parts of Butte County, in the foothills, in the mountains, could see some showers and thunderstorms as well. Let's take a look at that in a little bit more detail. So here we are at midday. I mean, look at this. I mean, you're getting in eastern Butte County, but you can see also some activity to the north and east, but dry everywhere else and some clouds. Now we go to about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is what I was talking about. Western Glen, western Tehama County, northeastern Shasta County. So Bernie, could you see a stray shower? Sure. We could see a stray shower or a sprinkle in Siskiyou County as well. But I think the bulk of the activity will be right here, and maybe even a few isolated thunderstorms. Trinity County, all right, places like Trinity Center, Callahan, for example. Yeah, you might see a stray sprinkle or a light shower, but I think everyone else should be looking at dry conditions. Then we go to about 6 o'clock this afternoon. It's really favoring it off to the east here, into eastern Modoc, eastern Lassen, and then really by the time we get into tonight, it's pretty much done with. Now, for Wednesday in the morning, you've got some clouds. Through the afternoon, you've got clouds. We're not going to completely clear out, folks. I think there will be points today, especially in the valley, we could see some sunshine. But overall, we're going to still see some of those clouds kind of filtering on through, but remaining dry throughout the rest of the week and even going into this upcoming weekend. However, it depends on where you are and what we got going on here. We're going to talk about going into the weekend. Let's take a look at that. So Friday, you're dry, right? But look at this. We've got this dip in the jet stream right here. You see this right here? This is what we call a trough of low pressure. Now, what's happening is this kind of what we call an inside slider type of event here. So it's going to bring up the winds a little bit here. Temperatures are going to drop as a result. And look at the rain that we're seeing. Now, this is an indication I've seen with this particular forecast model, which is the American forecast model. The bulk of the rain to the north and east and in the mountains, okay? But if you look at the European forecast model, it tends to want to bring some of that into the valley, Reading, all of the valley really, and even the coast. So I've seen a lot of consistency here, and at least this solution, and this is just all too close for comfort for us to not see and at least mention that potential for showers on Saturday. Now we're going to get a better handle on this once we do get closer to the weekend. So for now, I am including a chance for showers in the valley and maybe even a stray thunderstorm. But after that, as we go into Sunday, Monday, high pressure is going to build back in. And what I expect is that some of the summer heat that we typically see around here in May is going to make its way here, and we may see that more of a prolonged stretch of some of that 90-degree plus temperatures. All right, so let's talk about the winds. And I was talking about how it's going to be a little gusty out there or breezy. Nuisance wind really for the valley westward along the coast here and even for the northeast. This is not a major wind event that I'm talking about, but I just want you to be aware of the fact that the winds are going to be breezy at times, especially through the afternoon hours here for today, tomorrow, and even going into your Thursday. You see a bit of that north wind blowing as well. And that unfortunately may also increase that fire danger, which we'll take a closer look at that here in just a bit. But there's the temperatures increasing. Again, it's not bad, right? You're talking 85, 86. It's not bad for this time of the year. We see that dip in the temperatures on Saturday. That's that indication of the potential for showers. But then we go into Sunday, it's warming back up. And then, yeah, ticking back up in the mid-90s by the middle and latter part of next week. So, yeah, it's getting warmer out there, folks. And, you know, that's pretty typical for this time of the year. Lake levels are still very healthy. We're still watching Trinity Lake dropping. Shasta Lake dropping a little bit. And then a slight increase here for Trinity and Oroville. I mean, if capacity, actually, that's... I don't know why it says 85. That should be 95%. 91% out towards Trinity Lake. I don't know. Why did that change? That's weird. I changed these manually. I must have fat fingered it or something. 98% out towards Lake Orville. I mean, just looking absolutely wonderful out there. You can't beat it. All right, there's a look at your fire weather risk here. And I just wanted to show you this because the humidity today isn't going to be that much of an issue. There's still going to be pretty high humidity levels and even going into the overnight hours. What's happening as we go into Wednesday, you see how these numbers are just slowly dropping. See, the longer stretches that we have of dry conditions, no rain, no thunderstorms, the works, and we see those north winds kick back in, what happens? It starts to suck out the moisture in the air, and we start to see the humidity levels begin to drop, and as a result, we start to see our fire danger, unfortunately, begin to increase. So once again, just that friendly reminder, if you haven't done so, if you've been procrastinating, you got to start thinking about clearing out that brush, defensible space. If you can't do it, hire someone to do it. It's got to be done. It's for your safety and your neighbor's safety as well. So the wave heights, they're dropping through the day today. I do expect that condition should improve here for those of you that need to be on a small boat. We look at the marine forecast. North winds at 10 to 15 knots. Small craft advisory in the early morning hours, but of course that's going to be allowed to expire here as we go into the afternoon. All right, so here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures 60s and 70s, mainly in the 60s really. 62 degrees for Ruth, 68 degrees for Weaverville. So dry through Friday. There's that chance for showers on Saturday. Let's take you to the north coast. 64 in Alder Point, 66 degrees in Garberville. The coast will also see that chance for showers on Saturday, but dry from today through Friday, through the rest of the week. It's also the case for the inland areas with that chance for showers on Saturday, and then drying out again on Sunday, Monday. All right, so for Siskiyou County, I've got a slight chance for showers here and there. Overall, I think most of you are going to make it through the day today in Siskiyou County dry. But if you see a passing sprinkle, a light shower, don't be surprised, but dry for the rest of the week, showers on Saturday. For Modoc County, you can see a stray shower, maybe even a thunderstorm, and then dry through Friday, more showers, even possible thunderstorms, by the way, on Saturday, especially in the mountains. Temperatures 50s and 60s for the eastern mountains. Could see some isolated thunderstorms here as well. Dry through Friday, maybe some showers returning on Saturday. Here's your valley neighborhood forecast to the south. Temperatures, not bad. Not bad at all. Mid-70s for your daytime highs. Dry through Friday. Yeah, even the valley's seen that chance for showers on Saturday. There's your 70 forecast for Chico. We're talking mid to upper 80s. That's the peak of this warming trend. Not bad for May, right? And we're back down to the mid-70s on Saturday, and then 80s return by the end of the weekend, and maybe even some 90s by early next week. Your valley neighborhood forecast to the north, about 74 degrees for the city of Shasta Lake and Redding, all the way down to Cottonwood, Red Bluff, about 75. And taking a look at your 7-day forecast for Redding, yeah, I put in there, of course, you can see the Redding Rodeo for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Beautiful weather for the rodeo, right? You're talking mid-80s for Thursday, Friday. But this right here, we've got to watch. I know a lot of you who might be watching and you know you're going to the rodeo on Saturday. You're like, oh, come on, seriously? No, I agree with you. And that's how I'm feeling about it. I've been actually seeing this for the last over a week. I've been seeing this potential. I've been trying to downplay it a bit, but man, oh man, now that we get closer to it, forecast models are very consistent with that potential for showers on Saturday. Welcome sight otherwise, right? Anytime we can get rain this time of the year, it's always a welcome sight, except when we have big events like, I don't know, like a rodeo. By Sunday, though, it dries back up. We're back to 81 and 89 degrees on Monday. That is your morning update. I'll be back again at noon for your latest forecast. Have a great morning.